When I was a new trainer fresh out of my undergrad, young and naive me thought that I knew everything, but I was so far off on some of what I thought I knew. And if you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, or just overall get in better shape, I can pretty much guarantee that you're making these mistakes too. So, we're gonna break down the biggest mistakes that I made as a new trainer so that you don't waste time or stall your progress. And by the end of this video, you'll know what to avoid so that you can train smarter and make results faster. If you're new here, welcome and thanks for spending your time with me. My name's Noah and I've been a full-time personal trainer for the last 5 years after graduating from my bachelor's of kinesiology. And I'm just trying to cut through all the bullshit that's out there in the fitness industry and simplify things so that you can lose weight in the easiest way possible. And if that sounds good to you, let's get right into it. Have you ever felt like you're working out consistently, but you're still not seeing the progress that you want? Well, I was right there with you as a new trainer until I realized I was making the mistake of getting my clients to exercise too much. Yep, doing too much exercise can actually be counterintuitive for weight loss. And I remember this really messed with my head when I first heard it, because you would think that doing more exercise is better for weight loss, but your time is actually much better spent just lifting weights and getting your steps in. And it sounds so simple that you wouldn't think that's what works. But when it comes to weight loss, majority of your results are going to come from your diet changes, because no matter how hard you try, you cannot out exercise a shit diet. But there are a couple of things that you can do to help the process along. And those two things are lifting weights and getting steps in. And I'm going to prove it using this chart right here. It's called your TDEE, and it's the breakdown of where you burn your calories in a day. And exercise is only the tiny little sliver up at the top, because exercise is the smallest portion of your daily calorie burn. And that doesn't even take into account the burnout that people get from doing excessive cardio while trying to lose weight. But those two biggest chunks are what we can manipulate by just lifting weights and getting our steps in. That biggest chunk on the chart there is called your BMR. And this is just the calories you burn in a day just existing doing nothing. Yeah, you literally burn calories doing nothing watching Netflix in a day. And you can actually increase this by just building some muscle. Yeah, you can literally increase the calories you burn watching your shows at night by just building some muscle. Then that second biggest chunk on the chart there is called NEAT. And this is the calories you burn in a day from basic movements like walking to the cupboard to get your snack or playing with your dog. And if you have any common sense whatsoever, which I'm assuming you do since you're watching this video, you'll notice that portion is way bigger than what you burn through exercise. So not only is our time better spent just trying to get our movement up, but it's also much less fatiguing than doing hard cardio. Which brings me into my next point, and that's that fast weight loss just isn't the answer. Because when I first started out as a coach, I thought that getting clients fast weight loss was how I did my job right. But then all too often, after I stopped working with a client, they would end up putting that weight right back on, which gets them into this yo-yo cycle. Does that sound familiar to you? Because what Young Me failed to realize is that real client success isn't just quick weight loss. Because any trainer can get you to endlessly exercise and starve yourself to lose a bit of weight. But real client success is giving my clients the tools to keep that weight off for years after they stop working with me. And fast weight loss just completely neglects habit change altogether, which is why clients that do some sort of 30-day challenge or lose weight quick typically end up putting that weight right back on, which transitions me perfectly into the next mistake I was making. And that was not focusing on habit change and only focusing on the workouts. Because what I failed to realize is that if a client is only with me for 3 workouts a week, that's 3 hours out of their 168 hours in the week. That's only 1.5% of their time, meaning that 98.5% of the time they were out there on their own. So we need to focus on habit changes outside of the gym, and that takes time. But when we're focused on long-term weight loss and not quick fixes, that becomes so much easier because we're focused on developing the tools to keep that weight off long term. So maybe you're getting more steps in, actually going to the gym consistently for the first time in your life, eating more protein, which helps build more muscle and keep you fuller for longer, or eating more vegetables, which will help give you more energy and keep you fuller for longer. Or maybe you're starting to sleep better. Then they might start to notice they have more energy during the day. They're not as snappy at their spouse or their kids. Yeah, mom, I'm looking right at you. They don't have that joint pain they used to have. Then they notice their waist slimming out. Then maybe they start to notice some muscle definition. And because we took the time to develop the proper habits, they're not going to end up in this yo yo cycle because they have the tools to keep that weight off. Then the next mistake that I was making is one that I see all over social media. And that's changing your workouts every single workout. Yes, you do need to change things up periodically and go through different phases of training. But changing up your workout every workout is one of the worst things you can do for your progress. For starters, it doesn't give you the time you need to progress through the movements and get your strength up, which is one of the best things you can do for building muscle. It also doesn't give you the time that you need to get confident with the movement and progress through the range of motion, which is one of the best things you can do for your joint health and getting your strength up. So you need to give yourself time to progress through the movements. With my clients, that can be anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks, depending on how fast and how comfortable they're getting with the movements. But in that time, we'll also progress with small changes before we even consider changing things up. Those are the biggest mistakes that I was making as a new coach that you're probably making too. And I answer all of my comments. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you're still here, thanks for watching. I'll leave my last post linked here because you'll probably like that one too. Till next time, peace.